Guys, while you're finishing up eating, do you care if I continue a little bit?
Still what was he's
You can stay right there. You're not in my way at all.
I gotta leave.
All right.
Thank you, Darcy, for lunch.
Yes, thank you so,
Darcy.
so much.
And the amazing space.
Oh yeah, isn't it beautiful?
Mm-hmm.
Garbage over there, Mike.
This one, their garbage is right there. This one and our Ogden one, phenomenal views. I mean,
I walked in and I'm like, holy cow, look at this view.
I know, isn't it sweet? It's totally sweet.
This is me, right? How many of you have ever done an exercise called, we call it mindstorming, but brainstorming, or is anybody familiar with that exercise? So what mindstorming is, guys, is when you are either taking on a new project or going to change something, if there's something that's important to you and you're trying to actually wrap your head around it and get a game plan on how you can approach it. This exercise will serve you like no other. So what you do is you basically, the first thing you do is you write out what it is that you want to actually figure out, okay? So let's say, just for sake, that you wanted to do 4 closings every single month. Sound good? Okay? So we're going to make this kind of a group thing while everybody's finishing eating. So you write down what that is that you want to accomplish. So, and you're super specific, and you write it down like as if you've already accomplished it. So for example, I really enjoy the freedom, not only time freedom, but money freedom I get by doing 4 transactions every single month, serving my clients and getting referrals. How's that sound? Now, open table, talk over each other. I want everybody to start just spatting out whatever first comes to your mind, anything that's going to help you accomplish doing 4 transactions every month on a personal basis. Go.
Wake up and work.
Wake up and work. Get out of bed. Make your bed.
If you've got a 25% conversion ratio, you need to be talking to 16 different people for sure.
Talk to 16 people. That's a minimum. You got to do 16 to get 4. How about
Have a
commitment to consistency? How about an hour? You got to spend X amount of time on your business every single day. How about a system? Do you have a system? How are you going to accomplish that? What is your system going to be for accomplishing that?
Who are you going to talk to?
Who are you going to talk to? What are you going to do in order to get those 4 deals? How many? We already talked 16 people. How are you going to get to the 16 people? Let's keep breaking it down even further.
You've got to call about 100, maybe, to get 16 to commit to close 25% of those.
Okay, so how long does it take to call 100 people? Mike?
Depends on how much they're going to talk to you.
Average.
Say you did it 2 hours a day and maybe 5 days.
Okay, so 10 hours a week. Establish that. What else, guys? What's coming to your mind? If you want to go out and do 4 transactions every single month, what do you have to do?
I'm gonna go to the gym
Okay, that's important.
and talk to people.
Yep, that's important.
Connect with your community.
What about networking events? What about,
For me, if I want a media business like that, and like I'm a newer agent, I've only been licensed a little over a year.
okay,
For me, it's outbound targeted prospecting and being consistent with it.
how many deals have you done in your first year?
My first year, I did 8.
Good job, dude. Do you know what the average is?
Like none.
Do you guys want to hear a crazy, and Mike will back me up on this one. Do you guys realize that 87% of agents right now have not done a transaction in the last 18 months?
That's insane.
Fact. How many people do you think are going to be dropping off in July when dues come? At least our dues are in July. I don't know about your guys's. And our dues are about, what are they, Aaron? $1,200-$1,400?
I'm paid up through 2026.
You're stuck with us.
Yep. They told me I wouldn't get a refund if I moved.
Okay, so what you do is you get whatever this is that you want to accomplish. It could be a goal, it could be something physical, it could be something that you know, like we just talked about getting 4 transactions. So you just sit there and just spat off and you just start, don't even think about it. Just start writing down every single thing, any way that you can accomplish it, just start writing it down, okay? And then when you get your list, and if 20 isn't enough, keep going. And then you go back over your list of 20 and you pick 2 or 3 of those things in there that are going to be the most prominent thing that's going to help you get to that goal. And then guess what you do? You do it all over again. You take those 2 things that you picked and you put it back up to the top and you start brainstorming again. And you start breaking down just those 2 things. Break it down. Just keep firing out everything you can do. And guys, I can tell you right now that this is a really, anything that you have goals, Mike, that within your brokerage, this is an absolute phenomenal way to get down to the nitty-gritty, doing it in a group setting and figuring it out. And you just keep breaking it down. And guess what happens when you're at the end of doing all of this? Guess what you have? You have all the pieces to the puzzle, actionable steps. All you got to do is plug them in and do them. And guess what? Now you're going to reach it. Piece of cake. We can look at this big, huge mountain. It's like setting goals. How many of you have set a goal 1st of January, and by the end of January, that goal is no longer even in your thought process? How many of you have done that? Because I know I have. Whether it's to go to the gym, whether it's to make a certain amount of money, this, that, or the other. Because how many of you, when you set your goals, actually honestly, truly believe that you're going to achieve those goals? And more importantly, how many of you have actually sat down and gone through your goals and actually had a system and an absolute 100% game plan down to the day of what you have to do in order to achieve that goal? How many of you have broken it down to that? I'm impressed.
It's on my whiteboard.
Yep. Because here's the problem, guys. We all set goals. Everybody can always set a goal. Some people don't even write them down. Some people write them down. But then it's like, if you don't have a game plan on how you're going to accomplish it, how do you ever expect that you're going to be able to go out and absolutely accomplish it? Does that make sense? Because we can look at the big, huge mountain that we got to climb, but the fact of the matter is, if you focus on the mountain, you're never going to make it. You're never going to climb that mountain because it's too big. It's too overwhelming. It's too much. But if you break it all the way down to where all you got to do is this one thing right here, just do that one thing. Who cares about what's going on over there? All I got to focus on is that one little teeny tiny thing that I need to do on a daily basis right here. Is that accomplishable? Can you do that? And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to do this. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to do this. And guess what's going to happen before you even know it? You're going to look up and you're going to be standing on top of the freaking mountain. That's how you accomplish things that you absolutely want to accomplish. How many agents out there go through their career shooting from the hips? They're Wild West. They have no game plan. They have no idea. They just know that, man, I'm in this, and when I get a deal, I'm all over that deal. But how many of you have ran into those kind of agents? How successful are those agents?
Not very.
They're part of the statistic, and guess what, guys? The bottom line is those agents are the agents that they see the shiny penny. They're the ones that, and I'm sure we've all fallen into this. I know I have. You know, you hump your ass to try to get business, and when you finally get the business, what do?
Slow down.
Not trying to go after more business.
You stop trying to go after more business and you focus on what's right directly in front of you, and you go through that and you get that paycheck, and then guess what happens? You got to start all over again because you forgot to keep your business going back here. You had no game plan. You had no idea. You just got something right in front of you, shiny penny. Hey, there's a paycheck right here. And then when that baby ends, you're starting all over again. How many of you have felt that you've done that in your career? So let's talk about habits. What is the first thing that you do in the morning when you wake up? The very first thing. Your alarm goes off. What do?
Grab my phone, check my phone.
How many of you hit the snooze button?
I've had days.
Man, I'm fucking impressed with you guys.
Well, some of us don't even set an alarm, right? We just sleep until we wake up.
Oh, no, definitely.
Like I'm dead serious. I mean it when I say that. I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm really, really impressed with you guys. Because a lot of people hit the snooze button. And guess what happens when they hit the snooze button?
They keep sleeping.
They just blew their first win of the day. So, when your alarm goes off, if you have an alarm, you turn your alarm off, you put your feet on the floor, and you get your ass out of bed. Period. Then what do? Back up. You go pee.
Yes.
Yep. Got to go pee. Then what do?
Take my vitamins.
Okay?
I get dressed and go to work.
So let me back you up. If you don't do this already, you need to start absolutely doing this tomorrow. It's real simple. You wake up, you put your feet on the floor, you stand up, and the night before you stuck a big tall glass of water or a jug of water by the bed, and you pick up that bottle of water and you chug as much of that water as you possibly can chug. Why do you think I ask you to do that?
Because you haven't drank water for like 8 hours.
There's that.
Get hydrated and prepared for the day.
Guys, we've all done it before. You get out of bed, you chug some water, like when you take your vitamins or whatever. That's what I do. I get out of bed, I actually walk in, take a leak, grab my vitamins, walk back out, and chug. Here's what it does, guys. Number one, it wakes your body up. It starts your body functioning like that. We've all had those where you wake up in the morning and you're just you got lead feet and it's hard. Man, it's hard.
Yeah.
And your body hurts and freaking, it's hard. Right? Chug water. Number one thing. How many of you guys make your bed every single day?
I have to.
I'm not shocked, Mike.
I'm lucky.
Not to have that bed made. If
I knew you were going to raise your hand.
I know.
That bed's got to be made, and I'm ready. I'm not getting back in that sucker. I'm gonna go to work.
I'm lucky I have help with
Gotta
that.
be made.
My wife takes care of that because I wake up earlier and go to work before everybody else. So.
Okay? Is your wife still on the bed when you leave?
Yeah.
Then you're excused.
Yeah, my husband's still in bed.
Yep. Guys, why do you think we ask you to make your bed?
Shows you can do simple habitual things to make sure you're ready for success.
Can I make an example of you? Would you guys in your office say that Mike P is a baller?
Yeah.
Is he on his shit? Does a lot of people look up to Mike and go, man, I wish I could pull the freaking dills like that dude does?
Yeah, both mics. Seriously.
Do you think that he's got a magical golden spoon stuck up his ass and that's what makes him who he is?
Why is he so red?
It doesn't shock me even an iota that he gets up and makes his bed every single day. Because guess what? If you want to act like an executive, if you want to act like a baller, if you want to act like you got your shit together, if you want to pull the big numbers, if you want to be on top of your game, then be on top of your game. And that doesn't just mean when it feels good. That means every single thing that you do is top of your game. Making your bed is a win. Guys, it's already hard enough to get wins throughout our freaking lives and throughout every day, is it not? It's already hard enough. Take advantage of the wins that are so freaking easy sitting right in front of your face. Like not hitting your snooze button, like getting your butt out of bed, like simply making your bed. How many of you do gratitudes and affirmations? Explain. How do you do them?
I do mine through journaling.
Okay?
Get up and I write goals and I start a list of things I'm grateful for and I write affirmations about myself and then I start a to-do list with simple things like respond to a text, respond to an email. I write everything out and then I highlight it when I'm
You're a list lady.
Yep.
It's so funny. Do you know how many women are women love lists?
Yeah. And I still have a physical calendar
Yep.
and a digital calendar,
Yep.
but I maintain both.
Guys, do you want to know what we teach our team? Every single day, every single morning, we meet as a team at 9 a.m. Now, we're all in the office before that, but at 9 a.m., everybody gathers out in our little area and we read for a half an hour as a team. And we don't just read, we actually discuss it and talk about how we can, whatever that message is for the day, how we can implement that into our daily lives and actually take that knowledge and that good information and actually put it to work. But before we read at 9 o'clock every morning, everybody on our team has already been in the office. They've already checked their hot and warm list. They've already sat down and written out their gratitudes and affirmations, and this is how we teach them to do it. Writing out your affirmations, you do the same exact affirmation for 30 days. What is an affirmation? What is the purpose of an affirmation?
It's a goal, it's a dream, it's a positive, something in the universe.
Remember what I said about putting positive stuff out in the universe that comes back to you? That's what an affirmation is, guys. It's basically the start of a good habit, not a bad habit. So, an affirmation, we have them write out the same exact affirmation, whatever that looks like, for 30 days, and we write it out 25 times every morning.
Can I share something? There's a study, and I can't remember the specific of it, but it's shown that there's 65 or 70,000 thoughts that we have in our head every day. 2/3 of them are trackable and repeatable. They're repeating thoughts, habitual and negative thoughts typically. So half the mind chatter that's going on constantly in your head is pecking at you, tearing you down, self-defeating, and it's outside of our control typically. It's a conscious reprogramming. It's installing a thought and an outcome and a belief and an idea into your subconscious essentially to help you take control of some of those thoughts, redirect some of that habitual thinking.
Why do you think we ask you to write down your gratitudes? And we have them write down 25 gratitudes every single day. Matter of fact, I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but you'll see our worksheet right here on page 35. This is our worksheet that we have all over our office that you guys will have access to. You have access to it here. You'll also have access to it in an electronic form, and just run them off and write them down. Like I have literally 3-ring binders chock full of these. Why do you think we have you write down your gratitudes?
It's been proven that when you write it physically, you remember it more.
You do.
It's in your brain.
What happens to a person that's in a grateful state? What happens to a person that actually acknowledges their gratitudes, things that they're absolutely grateful for in their life? This is scientific shit, and I'm not going to get into it because it's way above my pay grade. But the fact of the matter is, guys, it puts you in a state of mind that is a positive, forward thinking, pushing forward, get the burning desire. I mean, conquer the damn world by being grateful for all the stuff that you have, or the things in your life, or the people in your life, or the sun, the heat, the warmness, the whatever it is. It doesn't matter. So I highly, highly, highly encourage all of you guys to start utilizing this worksheet and start writing down one affirmation 25 times every single day and 25 gratitudes every single day. Then if you go to the back of it, you can even go deeper. What would make today great? This is basically your journaling, but in a paper form. What about 3 things, three amazing things that happened to you today? Mike, tell me 3 things that happened to you yesterday that were absolutely amazing. Yesterday.
I got a listing under contract.
Bam.
I got a completed buyer contract, so that's 2 yesterday.
Bam.
And I got my ass out of bed and went to the gym.
Bam. Mark, 3 things. 3 wins from yesterday, bud.
Start to work on a promotion, like a promotional thing I want to do. I've been licensed for 7 years, and so July being the 7th month, I want to do a big promotion. So I think focusing on that a lot, and I think we're starting to get some traction there. My wife is deciding to get her license, and so it's been a little bit of a process, but we had some breakthroughs yesterday, talking with that and through that. So I think she's on board. I think she can get her LSA license now, so we can build our business together. Kind of going back to rekindling the fire
There you go.
in our marriage as well as in my business again. And
That deserves attention,
I
huh?
wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to make it today, honestly, but yesterday I made a decision I was gonna do it either way, no matter what. So
Hey, Mark.
move some stuff around to come.
What are 3 things that you could do today that would make it even better than yesterday? Because one of them you're doing right now. You're sitting your ass right here. When you could be out doing a bunch of other stuff. I don't need to listen to that guy. What does that guy know? He doesn't know anything I don't know.
And I think it goes to, I think it speaks to that. Like you just said, he doesn't know anything I don't know, but the difference maker is he's doing things that we aren't doing, and his business is a result of that.
If you want to be a baller, you have to act like a baller. If you want to be a baller, if you want to do 4 transactions every single month, if that's a goal that you would absolutely love, then you've got to do what it takes to make it happen. You can't just sit and go, well, I wish that 4 deals would fall right in my lap. I guarantee you those 2 deals that he got yesterday didn't just fall in his lap.
I don't know, you don't know him.
No, they didn't. And I'll tell you why they
sounds
didn't.
just like Dean, because they just fall in his lap.
You know
too.
what? But that's not it. They didn't just
Literally.
fall in your lap. because
Literally.
You're doing whatever it is you're supposed to be doing in order to create those opportunities so they do fall in your lap. You're making the phone calls. You're making people feel important to you. You're out there. You're putting yourself out there. It may not seem like work, but guess what, bro? You're doing it. And that is work. That is what you're doing.
When I met Mike, he was closing 15 deals a year consistently, and now he's closed 50 or more the last 3 years in a row. What are you doing different?
I show up. got our CEO, Jason, he has a coaching call every month. I have not missed a coaching call in 6 years.
And it's showing.
I haven't missed a coaching call one time. There's times I get good stuff out of it. Sometimes I take a bigger takeaway from it, but it always blows my mind. Like, you get opportunities to get coaching, and people miss it.
How many of you guys have ever paid for a coach? Was it worth it? Why?
Because in the beginning, I set the stage for what I wasn't gonna do, and one of them was pay for advertising and marketing, and they tried to push that on me for the next 2 months. Tom Ferry went to his hoorah down in Vegas, came back, did his coaching for about 6 months, and
It didn't serve you.
buying myself out of the rest of
Yeah.
it, 'cause I quit doing it.
It didn't serve you. It wasn't for you. You know what I said to him the other day, Mike, is I said, and we have a coach right now that we both use, and we pay them a lot of money to coach us. But this is what I said to Aaron before we hired this coach. I'm like, it takes a really special person to coach me. Because if not, I will freaking run all over top of them, and they won't teach me shit. Not that I think I'm better than anybody else, not that I think I know everything, but it takes a really strong person to coach me because I'll run circles around them because I'm that motivated and I'm that on top of my game all the freaking time. Now, is this something that I was born with? Guys, it's learned. It's just, you just put it in your mind. I was the kid in school that literally, I hated school. I was so freaking bored in school. When I'm talking school, I'm talking grade school and high school. I didn't go to college. I had a baby on the way and I had life smack me right between the eyes. And I had to go out and provide because there was nobody else that could provide for my family. My family couldn't afford it. Shit, they couldn't even afford me. I moved out when I was 16. So I'm just telling you guys, this is a learned attitude that you need to have, but coaching is truly, truly important in your lives because if you get the right coach, they will push you to no end and it will make you grow and be bigger, better, badder. You'll blossom. And here's my whole point. Mike P., you're a badass. You're a baller. But I can promise you this, if you take on a bunch of this stuff that we're talking about, especially tomorrow about our system and what we're going to teach you guys tomorrow, I can absolutely guarantee you, you're going to take your business to the next level. And I don't care where you're at with your business right now. If you're closing 50 deals a year, guess what? Next year it's 100. That's how sure I am of our system and what it will do for you. But is it easy? Sure isn't, because you got to do the work. That's where most people trip and fall, guys. That's where they fall. Is the second it gets a little bit hard, what do? Ah, that was stupid. I couldn't do that. That's dumb.
Nothing worth doing is easy.
Nope. Do you guys understand how habits are formed? Because you can have bad habits, you can have good habits. So let's pick on one, and if I'm picking on you, I'm not picking on you, but let's just talk about smoking. And if you're a smoker, I'm not picking on you, I'm just talking about smoking, because smoking is highly addictive. Personally, I've never been a smoker. But do you know how a habit like that starts? Do you know what is so addictive about the cigarette that is making that such a bad habit? The reward. It's the reward of when you smoke that cigarette that it releases the endorphins, and it's that reward. Every single habit that you guys have, good or bad, is based around what is called the cue, routine, reward loop. So a cue, what do you think cues a cigarette smoker?
Smell.
Smell? How many of you guys know a cigarette smoker, the only time they smoke is when they're at a bar drinking a beer or drinking liquor? That's their cue. How about somebody, every time they get a little bit stressed, oh fuck, I need a cigarette. Right? Guys, there's a cue. So think of your habits right now. Think of the bad habits that you have in your life right now. You want to hear one of mine?
Is your book wrong? Is your book wrong?
I love ice cream.
No, we had one down there that was.
I love ice cream. How many of you guys have ever bought the vanilla ice cream at Costco? Guys, how many of you have ever had Nilsson's frozen custard? Oh my God, you're missing out on Nilsson's frozen custard. There's one in Bountiful. Stop on your way back and get one. It's not a habit. But let me tell you about this little thing of mine. You know when you go to the grocery store and you buy ice cream and it's got so much freaking air in it that it's just straight out of the freezer. You can just loop it right out and throw it on in the bowl and it's just there's no substance to it. This ice cream at Costco's is so dense and so thick that I'm telling you, it's like a freaking brick when you take it out of the freezer. Like, I have to nuke it for a minute to even get a spoon to go into it to even get it out of the container. That's how thick this ice cream is. And it's so yummy. So, my cue, I'm sitting on my couch, I'm watching a little TV. I'm starting to shut my brain off for the day, stuck my computer away, and I'm just sitting there watching TV and going, man, a bowl of ice cream would sound really good right now. So what do? I get up, I go over to my freezer, I take out my Costco's ice cream, I scoop out and get me a good bowl of it, but that's not good enough. Nobody likes just plain ice cream. So then I take out the strawberries and I cut up some fresh strawberries on my ice cream. But strawberries can be a little bit bitter sometimes, so I got to sprinkle a little bit of that sugar on top of those strawberries, on top of my already ice cream that's full of sugar. But then that's not good enough because I don't know how you guys are, but I've got to have crunchies on top of my ice cream. So then I pull out the Lucky Charms and I pour a bunch of Lucky Charms over it because they're crunchy with the little freaking yummy marshmallows in there. But then that's not good enough because I love those little freaking dehydrated marshmallows. So we buy them in a big bag and I actually dump a few more of those marshmallows on top of it. And now I'm ready to eat my bowl of ice cream. The cue is I'm sitting on my couch and my mind goes to ice cream. The routine is I get off my couch and I go make my bowl of ice cream. And my reward? Yum, 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 yum. This is so good. Oh my gosh, this tastes so good. That's my reward because it's releasing the endorphins in my brain and you pick up this habit. Same thing with cigarette smoking. There's different triggers for everybody else. Sometimes it can be stress, sometimes it can be drinking, sometimes it can be whatever it is. The routine is you go smoke. And the reward is the endorphins are released. And I don't care what habit you're talking about, it absolutely follows the cue, routine, reward loop. Period. So, how, based on that scientific knowledge, you guys are pretty impressed, aren't you? Based on that knowledge, what do you think you can do if you've got some bad habits?
Get up off the couch and do something else. Go on a walk.
Literally, my gym is kitty corner to my house, right there. Like a 2-minute walk from my house. Would it serve me, instead of getting up and fixing that ice cream, if I just went, I'm gonna walk over to my gym, and even if I don't even work out, even if I just walk over to the gym and sit in the sauna, that's better than eating a whole big ass bowl of ice cream, is it not? And guess what I just did? I broke that chain because I'm putting myself, I'm recognizing that there's a cue, and instead of rewarding that cue with something bad, I'm rewarding it with something good. And guess what happens at the end of it? It still releases the endorphins. How many of you go to the gym, and when you're out of the gym, just like you said yesterday, that was a win, you went to the gym. Do you beat yourself up on the days you don't go to the gym? And do you feel amazing on the days that you do go?
Yeah.
Of course you do. So guys, in your life, everything you're doing, let's say that one of your things is that in the afternoon, if you're like me, you get that afternoon drag assing. And you're just like, oh man, I'm so tired. I have a stand-up desk, and one of the accessories for my stand-up desk is a hammock that you can raise the desk up, hook up a hammock, crawl in your hammock, and take a nap. Now, I'm not saying that's bad, because sometimes a freaking 15 or 20-minute power nap is the bomb. And then it helps you get right back in and rocking and rolling. But if you guys will start paying much closer attention to the habits that you have, and I don't care what the habit is. I don't care if the habit's based around smoking, if it's based around being lazy, if it's based around food, if it's based around, I don't care what it is. It doesn't matter. But you have to be smart enough to recognize what the cue is that's setting you off on that habit. Does that make sense? You got to pay attention to what that cue is and then redirect. Because I'll tell you something right now, guys, every single one of us have bad habits. I don't care how motivated you are. Every single one of us have bad habits. Or how about this? Let's not even talk about bad habits. Let's just talk about you want to start creating good habits. Do you think the same thing could work for you in creating a good habit? If you're consciously on top of it. You bet you are. So, how many of you have heard that you have your conscious mind, your non-conscious mind, and your creative non-conscious mind? Has anybody heard of this concept before? Okay. What is your conscious mind? Right now, we're all conscious, we're looking at each other, we're thinking, we're absorbing, we're writing down notes, this is conscious. That's with purpose, you're on top of it. What's your non-conscious? How many of you guys have ever been driving down the road and you're headed home and you don't even remember driving down the road headed home? All of a sudden you're home. Because you're just autopilot and off and on. Maybe you're really tired, whatever it is. That is your non-conscious mind. Your non-conscious mind knows going home. Now, let's talk about your creative non-conscious mind, because this is the power mind. How many of you guys have had something that's really important, maybe something you're stressing over or something that you're building a new business or a new whatever, you've got something that's really, really, really on your mind. And you're trying to figure out what you need to do with this thing. And one morning you wake up and you go, I got it. I know exactly what I need to do.
Me and Mark were just talking about this the other day, but I get those itching in my brain forever.
Do you guys know that your most powerful mind is your non-conscious mind, your creative non-conscious mind? Let me tell you what your mind does when you're sleeping. It does one thing, and one thing only. It works out all the shit that's going on, all the problems, everything that's going on that you are trying to figure out the answers to and everything. That is what your mind is doing when you're sleeping, is it's working out all the stuff. That's what your mind does. So now that you know that, how can that serve you? How can that help you? What if you feed that creative non-conscious mind right before you go to sleep?
I do all my I am statements right before I fall asleep.
What do you think's going to happen if you start feeding that amazing mind of yours that while you're sleeping is working out all your shit? So, quick exercise, guys. this is what I would do. Every night before you go to bed, I would pull out this worksheet. It's called your nightly routine. It's page 47 in my book. Yep, that's it, right there. Did you find it? Okay, guys, so you've got this in your book. It's real simple. Every night, you should have a freaking pile of these bad boys sitting by your bed. Matter of fact, you'll get it to the point to where you'll know exactly what you're doing. You don't need to follow the template. And you'll just have a book sitting by the side of your bed, you know, a notebook or a journal or something like that. You can start doing this every single night. And it's really simple, guys. You pick 3 things that are really, really important to you, and you say them out loud right before you go to sleep. As you say it out loud, you visualize as if you've already achieved it. You starting to see a pattern here? Remember on the Mindstorming, we told you to write it down as if you've already achieved it? This is a mind trick, guys. Did you know that professional athletes like Michael Jordan and these stud muffin freaking, like these guys are machines. Golfers and whatever your sport is. These guys practice this on like religiously. Like before they go out and like say a really important basketball game, they actually have a routine, and they got this from their coach that they paid a shit ton of money to, where they go back and they have a routine that they go through, and they basically are going through the game as if they've already played the game and they were spot on. Everything they did was absolutely perfect. Why do you think they do that? It's mindset. But what you're doing, guys, our minds are so freaking powerful. So powerful. That what they're doing is they're training themselves. How many of you have done something and you kind of get the butterflies and you're nervous as hell, whether it's, you know, public speaking or whatever it is? Man, this will serve you in like no other. If you just take a moment and sit down and just mentally go through like you're giving that talk, if that's what it is, or giving that speech or giving that lecture, and you nail it. Like you are the biggest badass there ever was. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to go out and nail it. Same thing with this exercise of training your brain right when you're going to sleep. And then you say it out loud. And while you're saying it out loud, you just, in your mind, you just go over it like you've already achieved it. You already have it. And you go over the emotions and the feelings that you have. So let's say that one of those things is that there's I'm just throwing things out. There's a car that you really, 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 really want. So you would say out loud, man, I love having this Porsche, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Man, when I sit in the car, I feel like such a stud. And the smells, the leather, the smell is so good. And the feel and the way the seat wraps around me. And I was driving the other day in my buddy's car. It's a Mercedes, high dollar freaking Mercedes Benz, and has all the bells and whistles. And every time he'd go around a corner, the fucking seat would hug me. Like, I'm not kidding you. The seat actually would wrap around me and hug me. And I was like, bro, is your seat grabbing a hold of me? It's things like that that you think of, guys, that you actually get in your brain, that you actually think about. Think about like you've already achieved it and what it feels like and the emotions that you're going to have when you've done that. And then let your mind go to work and tell me, I seriously, as we progress down through this and as our relationship grows and builds, because it will, I promise you, I want to hear stories from you guys of using this exercise and what it is that you've accomplished by just simply feeding your creative, non-conscious mind. And report back to me and let me know what happens, because it's going to be amazing. Okay, guys. We got 1 hour. Let's go a little deeper into goals. How many of you have goals written down right now? Tell me about your process for doing goals, Mike, please. Or tell everybody here.
Well, I just did this with my partner. I just took out a yellow legal pad and just started doing a mind dump, just like you talked about earlier. And out of that conversation came out the things that I was most needing to be focused on right now, you know? So broke it down in recruiting, had my, plans as far as doing that, had my, part of it is self-gen business. I'm probably one of I do very well with Team Gen that the corp office, distributes.
Yep.
Okay, probably really good at that. Thing that I need to get better at is self-gen. So by having that on the goal and the target, so on and so forth, that's why I'm here today.
You bet.
Because of what went on paper.
Do you think if you hadn't have done that, do you think you'd be here today?
Probably not. I probably would have been doing something else, most likely. I don't know.
I love that.
Because I would have just thought I already had all the rest of it under control, and that I was doing what I needed to be doing. But this is an area that I want to improve in and get better at, because I know if I get better at that, I'll be a much more valuable leader for other agents, because there is a skill set on handling leads, and then there is a skill set in self-gen.
And there's a skill set of being a leader and leading a team.
Yeah, so you have to have that knowledge. So, yeah, I sit down and mind map with him. Well, I've sat down with McGee before. We've sat down and, put things on paper on what our direction is and what we want to do. And I just think if you don't write it down, you're probably 80% there if you get it on paper.
100% true. Yep.
I had on my board one time, when I was at Cornerstone, I had on my board, I had a client, $1 million client, and they had me looking in Park City from 800,000 to 3 million. I mean, it was all over the map, and I put 2,100,000 on the board. I worked with them for 9 months. I looked at when I closed to take them off the board, it was exactly 2,100,000. Exactly. That was the purchase price. When I took it off the board, I went, shit, that is weird. That is freaking wild. I worked with them
You
for
felt
9
like you were
months.
in the zone, did you not?
Yeah, I just felt like, but I thought I could have put 100,000, I could have put 3.
But you didn't.
And I think that's what I do when I just don't think in the business we're in, we can outthink our potential. I mean, seriously, if we got our mind wrapped around what we can do, it's pretty amazing. I think the biggest thing we need to do, whether we're whatever level we're at in our business, is that we have to see ourselves there first. And if we can do that, you've already achieved 80% of the battle.
100% agree with you on that. 100% agree with you on that. So guys, why isn't it so important to have goals?
And direction.
Direction is a big thing.
For me, goals are milestones, and I reverse engineer my goal, and I break it down as what are the steps I have to take to try to accomplish that end goal. And so then I get to celebrate all the small wins and milestones along the way.
It's awesome. Love it. How about your motivation? Does having a goal help kind of boost your motivation?
Definitely.
How about your accountability?
Yeah.
How many of you guys in here have an accountability coach or an accountability partner? Totally impressed. Guys, let's talk about your goals. I kind of talked about it a little bit previously. If you don't have a crystal clear set game plan on how you're going to achieve something, how do you possibly think you're ever going to achieve it. Do you think you're just that lucky?
No.
Do you think it's just going to fall right in your lap, and if you just put it out there in the universe, it's just going to happen?
No.
Absolutely not. So let's talk about setting goals. How many of you have taken one goal and broken it down so far that all you had to do, like I said earlier, is this one little tiny thing right here? And when you were done with that, you went on to your next thing. How many of you have ever done that exercise and actually, at the end of the day, you nailed it? You got that goal, you hit that goal because you simplified it. You simplified it all the way down to nothing. So let's talk about this. Let's say that you take a goal, and guys, when I'm talking about this, I mean one goal. We are not, it is so hard to do two things at one time. People think they can multitask, but the true honest fact of it is, you cannot. So, one goal. Pick one goal. Somebody say a goal.
10 self-gen by the end of the year.
10 self-gen deals by the end of the year, okay?
You guys know what that means, you don't know what that means.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
self-gen deals, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's basically our system. It's that you're getting in person these deals. Yep. So, break that down and give me that one goal like you've already achieved it and what it feels like. Just throw it out there. Don't even think about it.
Well, probably the goal would make 5 attempts, you know, a day or something like that. Just make sure that I haven't.
No. I want you to say out loud, I want you to just, you're looking at me and you achieved doing your 10 self-gen deals. I want you to tell me how it feels. I want you to tell me what that looks like.
Feels amazing. Year ended and I have my 10 deals.
How much money did you make off your 10 deals?
Yes. A lot more than I
Here, I got
Team
it.
did.
Yeah. I got it.
100,000, yes.
Yeah. You're off of the 10 deals, I'm making 200,000. It feels stable, it feels consistent. Joy.
Can I tell you guys something? There's been times in my life when I've been as broke can be. There's been times in my life when I've been flowing in money and everything in between. And I'm going to tell you something that is the honest to God truth. The times when I had money were way easier times than the times when I didn't have money. Now, I'm not saying that money is everything, but the fact of the matter is this world and this life that we live in, money drives everything. And when you're stressing out every effing day trying to figure out how you're going to pay your bills, or how you're going to feed your family, or put clothes on your children, or pay for their schooling, or put gas in your car, or put food in your face, if you're stressing about all of that shit on a daily basis, how can you be productive?
I know it's definitely hindered me.
Yet, when you do have that money, it's so easy to get lazy. Does everybody understand what I'm saying? It's so easy. Let me tell you a vicious cycle that I used to be in. I told you I had my own business for 30 years. It's all on me. I sold products all over the world through NASCAR, IndyCar, motorcycle rallies, ski shows, dive shows, motorcycle shows, you name it. I was at all the biggest parties that you can possibly be at in the world making money. And I had no concept of saving money. I always had this thought in my mind that, you know what? This is a piece of cake. I'll just go make more money. Yeah, I'm going to buy these 5 water toys. I'm going to buy this $250,000 boat. I mean, it's no fucking deal. I'll just go make more money. I made millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I spent every fucking penny. Did that serve me? Nope, because guess what? I burned out and I didn't have that horse because I just absolutely lost my mojo. Couldn't do it anymore. So, goals are so important if you want to better yourself. And I'm talking goals, it's not all about money. I'm talking goals of whatever it is. It makes zero difference. Maybe it's an award that you want to win. Maybe it's a status that you want. Doesn't matter what it is. Everybody get on page 60 if you would. That's the goal sheet. Looks like this. And guys, I'm jumping over a whole bunch of stuff. I highly recommend that you guys take this book and really take your time and go through it, because there is so much awesome information in here that I'm just running out of time and I'm not talking about. But it all will serve you in helping you. So you take this goal that you want to do your 10 self-gen transactions. You've written it down in grand detail about what it feels like, how it feels in your bank account, how it feels to your family, how it feels to your mental being. You just write that sucker out like it's like no other and keep going with it. Now, in this left side over here, you're going to actually, or right below that, you're going to actually start writing down every single thing that you need to do in order to achieve that goal. So go, Mike, everybody, go. What would it take to get 10 self-gen deals a year? Same thing we kind of did with the Mindstorming.
Being consistent.
Being consistent. Having a game plan. Having a system. Just like Mike McGee says about it, you gotta put in the time, you gotta put in the work, you gotta put in the effort, which means you gotta do, if you're gonna do 10 self-gen deals, then you gotta put yourself out there. How else could you do it? Could you maybe go and put yourself out there by going and doing some networking deals and putting yourself in some positions where actually the deals could fall? You bet. Could you
Hold an open house every weekend.
hold an open house every weekend? Could you, I mean, you guys are all in real estate. What would you do? If you wanted to do 10 deals, if you wanted to guarantee yourself to do 10 deals, what could you do?
I have to tell myself that I can do it first.
Okay, do that. Now, once you've exhausted that list of all the stuff that you can do to do 10 self-gen deals, what do you think the next step is? Don't cheat. The next step is to start writing down everything that's going to stop you from doing 10 self-gen deals. Why do you think that we tell you to do this, guys?
So you can get ahead of it.
So you can see that shit coming at you. If you acknowledge the things out there that you can, everything in your mind that you can come up with that's going to stop you from doing 10 self-gen deals. Everything. Being lazy, not putting in the work, doing this, having that person at the office that keeps stealing my time, having whatever, I don't care what it is. Write it all down. Because guys, it's just as important that you know all of the things that's going to stop you from reaching that goal as it is to know what you need to do to reach that goal. Because if you don't know what's going to stop you, what's going to happen the very first time that one of those things smacks you right in the face? You're going to go, damn, I didn't see that coming. And can it knock you off of your path?
Yeah.
You bet it can.
You know, and this one here, it's kind of, I mean, these guys will understand, you'll probably understand that our business model is built around referrals. Our company does a really good job of giving us at-bats. So if I look at what can stop me, is the illusion that I'm still doing deals, even though I'm getting paid 1/3 the amount. So I'm still being successful, right? But
You're still doing the
I
deals,
still
but you're
am
not getting the
matching.
bank.
So when you ask what could get in my way is
That.
Opportunity. Yeah.
Yes.
Opportunity.
Absolutely.
I can actually justify I'm not doing team gen, or I'm not doing self-gen deals because I'm too busy.
Your focus is
doing
all on your
myself,
team gen.
on my team gen.
Yes,
So
it is.
look at what I'm looking at again is just, cause I've fell into that trap, I think, you know, and the reason I say this is because you gotta operate your business as a business. You have to think about what if that shit got taken from you, are you still self-sufficient in your business? If that got taken for some reason. I had a meeting with some leaders that said, you know, they were working on something, I think it was, what the hell was it, repos or some daggum thing with big banks, and they were rolling in the money, right?
But they got lazy.
They got lazy and then it turned off, and
Mm-hmm.
the leaders were sitting there wondering what in the hell just happened.
That's what happened to us with Zillow.
Okay, so you get these types of things. So this is, for me, is good because I don't want that shit to get in the way.
Yep.
Even though it's profitable and successful.
It's not that it's a bad thing.
It's not that it's a bad thing, but that could stop.
Yep.
So I just figured out.
No, I love that. I'm glad you brought that up.
You know what I mean? I could use that as an excuse to say, shit, I'm pretty badass. I got 50 deals going on, right? But am I actually, what would happen if that was gone? Would I still be self-sufficient and would I still be a much bigger badass, right?
Yep.
And do better things and be able to teach other people the same thing and say, listen, it's a combination of this and this, which will
There has to
drive
be
you to
balance.
higher success.
Yes.
So,
Hey, man, this is the way I look at it. If I'm going to make more money by self-gen than I am by team gen, I'm going with self-gen.
yeah, so it should, well, that's how it should be. And even our CEO talks about it, he says, I don't want it to be all just team gen. So I'm the prime example of probably what not to do.
Right.
Right? If you're 90%.
Well, that benefits what his obstacle or what his mission is.
So
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
It's just if I'm gonna run my own business as a business owner, how am I a lot better at running that business? And again, Mike talks about it all the time. There are guys, they are damn good at self-gen, and that's awesome, right? So it should be a balance. So
So then
that's
it's
one thing
all-
that could get in my way.
About leveraging and efficiency at this point.
Yes, it is.
Start getting buyer's agents to show these team gen deals for us
And then
while
just
we're
stay focused
spending
on it.
time on self-gen.
And that way it's helping, it's a refocus, but you have to focus on it.
Hey, guys, I'm going to tell you, our coach that, again, he's not cheap. This guy is a freaking badass. And he sent me a worksheet the other day that basically teaches you how to break down what it is that you're focusing on. And it really, like, it's the simplest, easiest freaking thing. And I promise you, I'll share this with you guys another time. I don't have time to share it with you right now, but basically, he breaks down with a one-sheet page. Like, when he showed it to me, he drew it out on a piece of paper. That's how simple this thing was. And by the end of this exercise, you were crystal clear on exactly what you needed to be working your time on. And it's all based on what is going to generate you the most income. And if things in there, so the very first thing, I'll just give you a quick idea. The very first thing that you write on this paper is how much you are worth an hour.
I've been looking at that recently.
And I'll share this with you. It's dude, crystal clear. Because we all get focused on doing so much shit that is not serving us and not paying us what we're worth, that you can hire other people to do that so that your only focus is on making that amount of money or more. And I don't mean to keep bringing it back to money, but it's just, guys, that's what runs everything.
Yeah.
And it's just reality. So, don't want to get off track. So you've written out your goal. You've got your list of everything you need to do to achieve it, and you got your list of everything that not to do that you need to look out for, right? What do you think the next step is?
Implementation.
And how do you do that?
Create a timeline?
Because I can tell you right now, you just put together a game plan and you have a system to absolutely accomplish that goal. You just wrote it all out. You've got everything you need to do. You've got everything you don't need to do, right? You've got all the answers. Now you just got to figure out how to implement it. And this is how you do that. You do that by breaking it down to daily, weekly, monthly tasks. So, you've got your list in front of you. Mike, it's real easy for you to go through that list and start picking out all the things that you need to do on a daily basis in order to achieve your goal. So, now all you got to do is figure out a way to implement that into your time. Right? And then you've got your weekly things. So let's say that your thing was, I'll simplify it to give you a great example. Let's say that your thing is you want to lose weight, and you've got this whole list of all these different things you need to do to lose weight. And one of those things is that you need to go to the gym 3 times a week. Well, that's real simple. I can look at my weekly plan and I can go, okay, I'm going to commit to myself that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm going to the gym at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to walk my ass kitty corner across the way, and I'm going to go to the gym for at least an hour. And I mark it in my calendar. Let's say another thing is, talk about losing weight, it's all about calories and what you're putting in, right? So, I'm going to eat better. How do I eat better? Remember, I broke it down. I'm going to start doing meal prep. Every Sunday, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to do meal prep, I'm going to have it all planned out, I'm going to prep all my meals, and then there's no thinking about it. I can't mess up here. All I got to do is just take out the meal prep and eat it. That dude is a master at meal prep.
That's why I'm svelte.
Are you guys starting to see the picture here? And then you've got all the pieces to the puzzle. All you got to do is just break it down. Now, can I give you the icing on the cake? Can I give you the number one thing that's going to make this whole thing freaking badass for you? You ready for it? We teach you how to do all of this based on a 12-week work year. Guys, 1 year is too much. How many of you have ever been in a corporate world? We've all been around the corporate world. What happens in corporate world with team goals and with company goals? They have a big planning meeting at the first of the year, and they get all these ideas and everything that they have to do and all these things that they put on top of you that you have to go and do. And then what does everybody do for 3/4 of the year? They skate. I got a whole year to reach my goals. Whew. Now, they may have quarterly meetings and stuff, and they're going to do the bare bones minimum in order not to get their ass chewed out during their quarterly meetings. And then what happens in the fourth quarter? Everybody's in an absolute panic, all hands on deck. Nobody's going home. We got to reach this. We got to all cram in order to reach our goal. Guys, a year is way too long. Way too long. So, 12 weeks. Why do you think we have you do this 12-week deal? Do you think that if you know that you've only got 12 weeks, guys, 3 months.
Yeah.
3 months. That's not that long. Think back 3 months.
Right.
3 months. Do you think that's going to create some urgency?
Yeah.
You bet your booty it will. Now let's talk about the goal itself. Let's say that, so if you broke that down, Mike, for your 10 self-gen deals, let's just say that we'll go with 4 deals every quarter. That's 12, right? Or excuse me, 3 deals every quarter. That's 12. So do you think there's going to be major urgency now in your system and in your goal and in how you're setting up your time blocking and how you run your schedule if you know that you've got to get 3 this quarter?
A little squeeze play on myself.
But check this out. So Mike, let's say that you do exactly that, and let's say that at the end of that quarter, you only got 2. Did you fail? Hell no, you didn't
A
fail.
lot farther along than I would have been, for sure, if I had not set that goal.
All you do, guys, that was your year. Now you just readjust, you reset your goals, you redo what it is you need to do, and guess what's going to happen on the next quarter? And then guess what's going to happen on the quarter after that? And by the end of the year, I can promise you, you're going to squash your freaking 10 deal number or 12 deal number. That's going to be so far behind you because, guys, it's all about the wins. Is it not all about the wins? When you set the goals, it's about the wins, and it's about rewarding yourself. And that reward of, man, it feels so good that I did this and I set my mind to it. And man, I got this. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And now your 12-week year turns into total motivation, and you will be on a freaking mission. I can promise you that, to reach those goals. And if you don't hit that exact goal, who the freak cares? He nailed it. You're so much further ahead of where you would have been if you'd have never even done it. Because I can guarantee you, if you don't do this exercise, those 3 months are going to go by and you're going to be sitting in the exact same spot that you are right now. Guaranteed.
Or up 10 pounds.
The thing I like about the 12 weeks is, also in that 12 weeks, even if you only get 2 transactions, it helps create better habits. Like, and then you just move forward, like and then you can look back and like what worked and what didn't.
There is nothing about it that you can tell me that is bad. Nothing.
I first read the 12-week year 4 years ago. I really liked it, and I started making some adjustments in my life. And then I realized I need to get a buy-in, like kind of like the smoker thing. Like I myself haven't smoked, but a lot of the people in my family have. And I know anytime they would try to quit, if someone else in the family would pull them back in, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't want that. I want to live by the 12-week year, and so I had my family all go through it. My wife read through it. My kids and I, we've all listened to it. So about 3 years ago, our whole family adopted the 12-week year as a our
Just a
plan.
thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I love it. You work hard 12 weeks, you take a week off, 12 weeks, week off, 12 weeks, week off, 12 weeks, week off. And mathematically it makes sense too. I like that. But, yeah, it helps.
Guys, if you haven't read the book, The 12-Week Year, read the book.
Live by it.
It is an absolute killer book.
Evolutionary.
Yep. You want to know another book that I'm just telling you, it's the easiest read you've ever done. And I don't know why this book was so profound to me and it made such a major difference in my train of thought. But it's called How Full Is Your Bucket? Buy that book and read it. Here's the concept of how full is your bucket. When you're filling other people's buckets, you're filling your own bucket. When you're taking from other people's buckets, you're taking from your own bucket. And it's that simple. So it fits right in line with exactly what we're going to all be talking about tomorrow, and that's our VIP 50, and how you can actually have a system that I can tell you right now, 10 self-gen deals, you're going to laugh at that and go, if I only knew it was this damn easy. Seriously. So let's talk about the power of 50, guys, because obviously our system is based around 50, not 100, not 200, not 1,000, but 50. And understand this, When I say 50, it's not like we're going after 50 people in our life, that we're going after their business. That is not what this system is. How many of you guys know somebody right now that they know like freaking 10 or 12 other agents, or they actually have family members that are agents? I'm going to tell you guys a real quick story. My brothers, my flesh and blood brothers, bought a house for my mom in Tremonton and didn't even fucking call me. I was pissed. I was hurt. I was angry. And me being me, I don't just sit on it. I called their ass out on the carpet. And you want to know what they said to me?
You treated it like a normal SOI.
First thing they said to me is, Dean, bro.
We didn't even know you was in real estate.
No, they knew I was in real estate, but this was what they said to me. Bro, you're off selling these multi-million-dollar homes. We thought this was out of your wheelhouse. This is way below you, dude. This is not
What you want to be working on, yeah.
We just figured that this wasn't something you wanted to do. Whose fault is that? That's my fault. Because I would have given my entire commission back to my mom to stick in an account. I mean, we're all taking care of my mom anyways. Right? They didn't think of that. And then the second thing that my youngest brother said to me that really hit home, like punched me right in my freaking face. And he said, by the way, and we're all pretty honest with each other, and he said, by the way, Dean, what are you doing to earn my business? It's like, bro, I hear from you maybe once a year. You never call and ask me how I'm doing. You don't even show up to the family shit. You don't do anything, dude. Why would I call you?
Contributing back to earning the business, yeah.
You should have had your system be at VIP 51 so you could add your brother to it.
Well, this was before the VIP 50. Guys, that was a major, major eye-opener for me. Because the bottom line is, and I want you to sit here in your own little self right now, what are you guys doing to earn your business? Just because somebody you know is either family or close friend doesn't mean that they should use you to buy or sell real estate. What are you doing to earn your business?
How many of your SOIs feel that yucky? Like on their side of it. They know you're waiting. They know they owe it to you. There's going to be a fight if they didn't use you. But do they really want to use you? There's most of SOI that I'm familiar with is like, you owe me. You know, we're related. We're in the same ward, or we're, whatever
But
the
guess
case
what?
may be.
That is not what this is. That's not what this is.
But that's industry wide. That's how it's
Yep.
treated.
That's how people think. Here's the problem with that, guys. For probably 99% of your clients, this is their biggest asset that they own and will ever own. Would you agree with me on that?
Yes.
So don't they deserve to have the very, 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 very best representation if it's their biggest asset?
Yes.
Like, this isn't just shake a stick funny thing. This is serious. So again, I ask you, what are you doing right now to earn your people's business? It's kind of a punch in the face, isn't it? Yep. So guys, the power of 50. No, we're not after those 50 people's business. If you're doing your fucking job, that's going to happen automatically. Does that make sense? But that's not what we're after. Here's what we're after. The average adult person knows how many people?
150 to 200.
250 to 350 people. There's actually another one I just found out there. It's some big brainy thing from way back in the day. The actual number that he puts out there is 600 people. The average person knows at least 200 people, would you not say, in their sphere of influence. That's people that they know, like, and trust, people that know their first name, and those people know your first name, right? People that if they saw you, like, how many times have you been at the grocery store, you run into somebody and it's like, hey dude, how you doing, family, blah, 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 see ya, and out of sight, out of mind. How often does that happen at church? How often does that happen at baseball games and football games and on 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 and on? The average person knows at least 200 people. Guys, what's 50 times 200? 10,000. 10,000. Now you tell me, how much business do you think you could tap into if you're tapping into 10,000 people?
What's that, what did they say, 17% will be buying or selling of the people you know?
10,000 people. Amen. But guess what? You have to earn that business. And the way you earn that business is by making people feel like you actually give a shit about them. How many of you guys have friends that when you have a conversation with that friend, you know that they're completely not even listening to you? How did it make you feel?
Like I'm wasting my time.
Usually just stop talking.
Yeah. How many of us have been that guy? Because I know I have been. I mean, I know a shit ton of people, and I used to have friends 50,000 miles wide and about that deep. Like literally, I would be talking to somebody and my eyes would be going all over the place because I was just looking for the next conversation and didn't hear a word about this one. Don't be that person, because I'm telling you right now, there is an absolute gold mine sitting right in front of you. You just have to tap into it. And the way you tap into it is by serving those people. Because if you serve those people, you will turn them into fans, and fans will refer you. And that's a fact. How many times have this happens to me all the time? Somebody calls me up and they're like, Dean, you're the it guy. You know, who do you know that does this? And who do you know that does that? I guarantee you, you're that guy. People call you all the time wanting to know, who do you know that does this? Hey, Mike, who do you know does that?
I just got an electrician's number from him.
Yep. Yep. Well, guess what? The referrals that you guys have received, do you feel like you need to reciprocate to that person that gave you that referral?
Yeah.
You should.
It's natural, guys. It's absolutely natural. When somebody does something for you, it is human nature that you want to reciprocate that back to them. You know my 44 deals and my 16 deals that I'm on right now? Ask me how many of those I asked for, that I actually said, will you get me a referral? Can I get a referral? Not one.
You didn't use the classic cliche line.
Not one. Guys, in our system, and we're going to go over this tomorrow, there is one time and one time only that you ask them for a referral, and you ask them in a fashion of, if I do this for you, if I show up and if I do what I say I'm going to do, would you please consider anybody you hear about that's going to buy or sell real estate, that you give me an opportunity to earn their business? One time. And you know what happens? When I run into people that are in my VIP 50 right now, Do you want to know what the very first thing that they say to me every single time? Dean, dude, I know I owe you a referral, bro. I know I owe that to you. And guess why they say that to me? Because I got them in the very beginning to commit that they would give me 1 referral a year. Do you stick by when you give somebody your word? When you give somebody that you say you're going to do something, do you do it? How about you, Mark? Do you do it? Do you do it?
Yeah.
Guys, it's so easy. It's ridiculous. It's the power of 50. If you have 50 people that you're showing up for on a regular basis, you are actually tapping in to thousands and thousands and thousands of opportunities.
That's how I got my first client actually was a for sale by owner, and she told me she was interviewing other agents, and the only reason I got it was because I told her I was gonna call her on a Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Second day at 9 o'clock I called her, and she's like, you weren't pushy, but you were tenacious.
Love it.
And that's exactly what she told me.
You guys all have people in your life, those people in your life that always, always, always show up late to everything. And if you're one of those people, change your ways. And how do you feel about those? How do you feel about those people when you have an appointment with somebody and they just blow you off?
You don't even wanna work with them.
Don't be that guy or girl. Don't. Do what you say you're going to do. Do it with purpose and do it with intent. And I promise you, it will change your life. And all for the better. Does anybody have any questions about our material today? How did everybody feel about the material today? Do you feel like you actually got some value today?
Yes.
Do you actually feel maybe a little bit different about how you can actually take on to actually start tapping into your SOI and actually turning it into a freaking gold mine of referrals?
Mm-hmm.
Like more so than you did at the start of the day?
Oh, definitely.
See how important this part of our training is, guys? Is it's all about putting you guys in the right frame of mind and letting you understand and know that, you know what? There's systems. And if you don't have systems, if you're going through life as a real estate agent and you're flinging it and you're just shooting from the hips and you don't have systems in place, hang on to your shorts, because if you really take on what we're going to show you and you really put this system into place, like I sit here with a smile on my face because I already know what it's going to do for you. I already know. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So tomorrow we're going to start going over the actual system. We're going to give you guys all the keys to the whole entire deal. We're going to give you everything that you need to go out and build your own VIP 50. Now, in all fairness, I like to take just a minute today and talk about this. We put on these trainings for free. Now, tomorrow at the end of the day, we're going to talk to you guys about a coaching program that we offer to you. Why am I talking about it today? Because I don't want you guys to feel like that this whole thing was a big setup and that tomorrow I'm just going to bomb you and try to ask you for a whole bunch of freaking money, because that's not it. You were in the Ferry program. I don't know if any of you have been in the Buffini program. He's been in the Workman program. Guys, all of these programs that are out there, what they do, and tell me if I'm wrong, Mike, but what they try to do is they try to get you into their system on their platform, and then they drain you for money every single month. And if you don't pay them that money every single month, what do? They cut you off of their platform. And they cut you off of their system. Do they not? I had a gal, actually, who was it said worked with Stephanie?
Me.
Stephanie came into my office about a week ago and sat down in a chair in my office. She's 2 offices down from me. I have this voice. She hears every word I say. Poor lady. And she's like, Dean, I'm just not happy. I'm in the Buffini program. I pay them $750 a month, and I've been paying that money to them for a year. And I just don't feel like I'm getting any value. I don't feel like I'm any closer to doing and being and gathering what it is that I want. And I hurried and quickly did the math in my mind. And I'm like, that's $9,000 fucking dollars that she paid to these guys over a year. And she couldn't tell me one thing that had helped her and changed her life for the better. That's sad, guys. So let me tell you why I bring this up. Our coaching program is a very specific coaching program, and it is a closed loop coaching program, meaning it goes for 12 weeks, imagine that, and it ends. And at the end of those 12 weeks, if you take on what we teach you and what we're going to give you tomorrow, I can promise you this. By the end of 12 weeks, you will have an absolute system in place in your business that will serve you for the rest of your career. And I mean that. You will go from whatever it is that you've got right now to, I promise you, taking your business, and it is a business, and you have to treat it like it's a business. You will take your business to the next level, if not the next 3 levels. That's how sure we are of it. And guys, we give you a ton of our time, and it's only this. Every time we start a whole new coaching, it's a coaching that starts with the group that we're training on that spot. Now, we're booked out on these trainings till July. So every single week, sometimes we have 2 in 1 week, we're starting a whole new coaching program. And here's what we give you in our coaching program. We give you 2 hours of our time every single week. The first hour is all about helping you guys go to the next step in our system so that you continue moving down that road and continue building your business. That's so important for you to do. The second hour is all about you guys. We don't want those roadblocks throwing you guys off a track and not building your business. So we want to cover every single one of those roadblocks, and we want to pounce on those roadblocks and get them out of your way. Now, not only that, we also offer you one-on-one coaching where we will actually work with you in your business and help you set your business up with our system so it's exactly how you need it to be. So understand that tomorrow when we're going through this and when we're giving you our system, could you go out and take our system and all the knowledge we're going to give you tomorrow and build it? You bet you could. I have the faith. You guys are all very smart people. How long would that take you is a whole other side of this equation. Because I've dedicated the last 2.5 years of my life to this system. And I give it all to you. 100%. So understand and know that tomorrow, as we're going through the day tomorrow, there is a way that I promise you that you can fast track your business, and 12 weeks from now, your business will look completely different. And I don't care what your business is right now. So, any questions on today? Any questions on anything that we've gone over? Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want us to lay out there and dissect it? Good stuff? Everybody like today?
Yes.
Wait till tomorrow. Because tomorrow we're going to get into it. Big time. Guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like I said, I mean, I really, truly, honestly, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I know you guys didn't have to be here today. I know that you have busy lives. I know that your time is valuable. And we really, really do appreciate you putting the faith in us and coming out here to listen to what it is that we have to give you. And the most important thing for me is that when we're finished with you guys tomorrow, whether you do the coaching or whether you don't do the coaching, is that I've made your life better in some way, shape, or form. That's really important to me. So take it on. Come tomorrow ready to rock and roll, and I promise you, we're gonna change your life tomorrow. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You betcha. Thank you very much. Man, I appreciate yours.
Hey, there's more tacos and chips and salsa over there. If you guys don't eat, I'll just put it in the kitchen, so load up on your way out.
Should be getting an email from that agreement already signed. Oh, sweet.
Getting an offer on my cabin.
Nice.
Yes.
And now I'm gonna go freaking drink a whiskey.
I like it. You deserve one after today.
Actually, what I'm gonna go do is I've got a grandson that's graduating from 6th grade, so I get a boogie and go and hang out with my grandkid, and then I'll drink a whiskey.